Listen up, there's a new player in the game, in the citizenship by investment industry, and that is Nauru in the Pacific Ocean. This island, which was one of the wealthiest countries in the world. There's a great video by a very famous YouTuber. He went to Nauru. I didn't have the opportunity to go there. I went to Vanuatu, I went to Fiji. I wanted to go to Nauru, but just ended up not going there. They've officially launched a citizenship by investment program a couple of days ago for 105,000 US dollars. The total contribution or the total fees that you're going to pay for a single applicant is going to be around 140,000 USD, with a family of 4 investing around 155,000 USD. Pretty straightforward process. I assume it's going to take a couple of months, and key requirements are you must be 18, you must have a clean background, you must have proof of funds, so the same as in St. Kitts or any other Caribbean program, mandatory interview, interesting, and an oath of allegiance to Nauru. That's pretty funny. It's a small island in the Pacific. You need to make an oath of allegiance to them. Kind of funny. What about the passport? So the passport does not have access to the European Union or the Schengen area. They have access to around 90 countries around the world, access to Russia, access to the UK, which might be removed, to be completely honest, the same way that Vanuatu lost its access. We will see how strict their due diligence is. Obviously, the UK will look into this, but I see this being a pretty good program for those nationalities, like, for example, Chinese. Chinese clients are usually the biggest clients, apart from Russians that want to get second passports. I see these two countries being the main ones, although they've said that they're not going to allow any sanctioned individuals obtain Nauru citizenship, so I'm assuming that they're going to be a bit more careful with it, with accepting Russians into the program. They didn't say flat out, oh, we don't want any Russians or Belarusians, but maybe that's the case because they don't want to be killed, or they don't want to lose that access from the UK, for example. We will see how they develop. You have some access to Africa. I would say this passport, in terms of visa-free access, is pretty similar to Vanuatu. You have access to Southeast Asia, you have access to the Pacific, obviously all their neighbors, you have access to Russia, you have access to some countries in Africa, some countries in the Caribbean and Latin America, like Peru and Panama, and UK and Russia, as I mentioned, and the UAE as well. You have visa-free access. So would I go for this program? I would probably say no, the same way that I wouldn't go for a Vanuatu passport, although they've kind of killed their future access to Schengen if they were ever planning to get a Schengen access or to get access to the European Union. With this launch, it's probably not going to go through. But still, if you're looking for a second passport as a way to just, for example, have access to some crypto exchanges, we have some American clients that come to us and they say, I don't want to renounce US citizenship. I want to file my US taxes. I want to do everything properly with the United States. I want to pay my taxes to the US, but I just need access to other crypto exchanges. I just need access to other banks that won't allow me to do it with a US passport. This could be an option. Instead of giving Vanuatu 130,000, you could give Nauru 140,000, and then I would say it's a little bit less sketchy because Vanuatu already has a reputation, although with this program, if their due diligence isn't on point, they will also have the same reputation. So you're basically choosing between Vanuatu and Nauru at this point. Compared to Vanuatu, Nauru is probably not a place where you want to live in. If you watch the video that I linked in the description, very beautiful one, he showed all the beaches, everything, you will see that from the phosphate mining, which made Nauru one of the wealthiest countries in the world, and then all the corruption, and then the natural destruction, you can't really enjoy the beaches, you can't really enjoy the nature in Nauru. It's also extremely small compared to Vanuatu. Vanuatu also has great investment opportunities. I met a local there while I was there. I was really blown away by Vanuatu. It's honestly very beautiful, great beaches, great nature, great lagoons. You have a ton of different islands to explore, although I mainly focus on the main island and the capital. Honestly, great country to visit, great country to be there for a week or two if you want to explore that area of the world, compared to Vanuatu, where my local friend bought a ton of land, built a beautiful house for only 40,000 US dollars, and he's living there with his family. Compared to that, a place that you could actually live in potentially at some point and invest in, Nauru is really not the same. It's much smaller, it's all destroyed. The nature isn't really that beautiful because of the phosphate mining. So overall, if I had to pick between the two, I would still probably pick Vanuatu. It's interesting to see these Pacific islands or Pacific countries going towards launching their citizenship by investment program, the same way that the Solomon Islands announced that they will launch a citizenship program. But the Solomon Islands, there's a lot more at stake because they have access to the Schengen area. They have access to Canada. They have access to a ton other countries that Nauru does not have access to. So obviously Solomon Islands will be a lot stricter due diligence, a lot of lawsuits going through because they want to make sure, for example, the Schengen area or the European Union or the EU Commission wants to make sure that the process is exactly as they want to see it so you don't lose that access to the Schengen area. Nauru can kind of do whatever they want. Vanuatu is still fighting for that Schengen access. So if I had to pick one of these specific countries, if I really wanted one of these passports, I would probably, if Solomon Islands launches, I would probably do Solomon Islands just because of the current access that they have, even though they might lose it. Then my second choice would be Vanuatu. And then my last choice would be Nauru, although I am not their perfect client. Their perfect client is probably a Russian or a Chinese or an American that just wants a second passport. They just want any other nationality to open bank accounts, to open exchange accounts, to travel through some countries, maybe get residency in Europe under that citizenship to replace their Russian or Chinese nationality. They're mainly focused on those clients, in my opinion. If you're interested in citizenship by investment, making an investment or a donation to a country and receiving citizenship in exchange for that, check out this video right here on the 10 plus countries around the world, including now Nauru, which obviously I didn't mention on that video, but you want to see all the options for citizenship by investment. This is all legal. So you will see all the different options you have. Check it out right here.